Greetings and salutations and welcome to Illegitimate Legends, and it's time that we talked about Zekes Herald. I mean, I have been teasing this for, the last 2 episodes, and this is something that's very important to me. In the background, we should note, is a game in which 5 Broms faced off against 5 Broms, and that is utterly hilarious. Maybe not interesting to watch, but when your fight devolves into 10 giant piles of man meat in the tiniest possible space, all trying to block each other's ram heads, it's real confusing. You don't know what's going on, and sometimes you try and escape, and other times you just keep right-clicking a person you think you need to die. You might not even be near them. It's crazy fun. Give it a try if that game mode's still up when you watch this. Anyway, Zekes Herald. Now, there are actually legitimate arguments to say Zekes Herald is OP. I'm not gonna go out and say it's a legitimately overpowered item, because it certainly doesn't need a nerf, but it is an exceptionally undervalued item. I don't see it. I am the only person I know buying Zekes Herald, and that is a problem because it's a fantastic item to get. And when I talk to people, they say, oh yeah, I'll get a Zekes Herald in my build. It's usually about their 5th or 6th item. This is a mistake in my opinion. I think most support players who have any sort of remote AD bent, or more importantly, support players who are building as a tank, should get Zekes Herald as their 2nd item. Let me explain to you why. And the first bit of sort of information that I'm going to throw at you is the concept of item gold efficiency. Now, not everyone is familiar with this, although I imagine a lot of you are. It's basically a theory crafting element. It's not the be-all and end-all, but essentially, from the cheapest items in the game, the tier 1s, so your longsword, your Negatron cloak, your ruby crystal, from those items, you spend X gold and get Y stat, or rather Y amount of Z stat. Using that, you can say that, okay, attack damage is 36 gold. So it's 36 gold per point of AD. And you can combine those features, this concept of how much each stat is valued at, to figure out how much gold an item is worth. So attack damage is 36 gold for 1 AD. Health is 2.66 gold for 1 HP. Cooldown is 31 gold, 0.67 for 1%, and lifesteal is 44 gold per percent. Based on these numbers, Zekes Herald is exceptionally good. Now, it doesn't have the highest gold efficiency in the game on its own. When you buy a Zekes Herald, you spend 2,550 gold, and if you calculate the actual value of the item, it's 2,464. But that is just on its effect on you. You, as a champion, get 250 health, 20% cooldown reduction, which is a lot of cooldown reduction, really, 20 attack damage, and 10% lifesteal. But it's an aura. That's kind of a big deal. Everyone undervalues the aspect of this aura. It's an aura of 10% lifesteal, 20 AD. And so most people look at this with the concept, okay, so I'm giving 20 AD and 10% lifesteal to my AD carry. That's great, but no one else is really going to benefit from this. Wrong! I see too much discussion saying that, oh, if 4 out of the 5 champions on my team are going to be AD champions, then I'll get a Zekes Herald. No. It is a perfect logical fallacy to suggest any such thing, because every single champion auto-attacks. Every single one. The impact is less pronounced on a mid-lane mage like, say, Malzahar, for they are the champion that auto-attacks the least. But they still do it. Every time they auto-attack, you're adding 20 attack damage. Now, at the end of the day, armor comes into a huge effect, and so by endgame, tanky champions will only be taking 10 AD. Less tanky champions, only 30% reduced, so they're taking 14 extra damage. But 14 extra damage per strike is significant. Only 2 auto attacks at 14 extra damage per strike stops them getting away on that 27 health. That doesn't happen every game, but it happens regularly enough that you know that number 27 or 26 or 12, those tiny little amounts of health that you despise because you hate that that champion got away. 2 auto attacks from any champion on your team. It doesn't matter which ones, it doesn't matter if it's the same guy auto attacking twice or somebody else, means that that Zekes Herald has provided significant benefit. In a large team fight, you are adding 100 AD to your side. Now, League of Legends does not come down to just the numbers. It is a lot based on numbers, but we're not all robots making exactly the same plays. There's strategy involved. But you cannot judge strategy in terms of how good an item is. Not effectively anyway. What you can say is that adding 100 AD to one side's numbers, where the enemy doesn't get that 100 AD, that's efficient. That's gold efficiency. That's 100 AD would be 3,600 gold, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just gonna leave that. 3,600 gold has been added to your team. Not in actual gold, but in value. You've had to pay for that, but you on your own have paid less than the cost of that AD for your entire team. And some people benefit from it more than others. People with crit chance increase that to 40 AD on their crits. People who have an Infinity Edge increase it to 50 AD on their crits. So your AD carry does benefit more from 20 AD than anyone else because they're going to be critting more often and they've got steroids and all the sort of nonsense that goes into making AD really, really good. But at the same time, everyone is receiving some benefit from it, and everybody auto-attacks. Everybody does it. If you're not auto-attacking in a fight, you're making a mistake, unless you could be spending that time casting spells, in which case there's probably good chance that that's going to be more efficient, but varies on a champion by champion basis. If you are not running away as a mage, you should be auto-attacking. If you're auto-attacking, you're benefiting from Zekes Herald. And we haven't even touched on the lifesteal. 10% lifesteal. Lifesteal is 44 gold for 1%. So 10% lifesteal is 440 gold. My math still adds up here. Okay, 440 gold times 5. I'm gonna go ahead and say that's 2,200 gold. 10% lifesteal is also huge because, you know, if you've got a Zekes on your team, endgame everyone has more than 100 damage. You're giving everybody on your team, every time they auto attack, about 10 health. Some people more, some people less. 10% lifesteal is something your AD carry cannot do without. If you can think of a reason you would deprive your AD carry of 10% of their lifesteal, I want to smack you because you're wrong. There's no reason you should be taking that from someone, and so there's no reason you shouldn't be giving it to someone, particularly in the early game. I'm going to tell you a personal experience of mine. I was playing support. I believe I was playing Braum or Tarek, or one of those champions that I absolutely love to play. One of the champions that goes perfectly with Zekes Herald. My AD carry was playing Tristana, and their build early on focused exclusively on getting Infinity Edge first, because they knew I was rushing a Zekes Herald. I went Targon's Embrace straight into Zekes, and he was a bit worried that he was not going to have enough lifesteal. The moment we made the B that got us both his Infinity Edge and my Zekes Herald, we owned the lane. We had total lane dominance because he had crit chance and damage that their AD carry could only dream of, and at the same time benefited from my lifesteal aura. That gave us such a great amount of power in the lane. Our early lane was not as strong as theirs because they had greater sustain than we did, but buying 2 Duran's blades to keep that sustain going was a terrible mistake on their end, because it meant that once we got that Zekes, once we had it, we out-sustained them tremendously. Every crit was healing for a stupid amount of health. On a specific note, Zekes Herald must be bought if you are playing Braum, Tarek, or Gangplank in support lane. If you can think of a reason not to do that, again, I'm going to smack you, because there's no reason, no legitimate reason to look at Zekes and say, I don't want or need to have this if you're playing any of those champions. Tarek auto-attacks a bunch because, I'm not sure you know this, but he can almost effectively 1v1 anyone. He's kind of a really good person. He benefits a lot from health. It benefits his heal, meaning that that health is benefiting both you and the AD carry because you're healing them. 20% cooldown reduction, again, is massive. These are the two stats that tanks love the most. Armor and magic resist are always an issue, but health typically multiplies with armor and magic resist, meaning that that 250 health with armor and magic resist can be more effective than about 400 health in the right build. 20% cooldown reduction. A tank without cooldown reduction cannot make the plays he wants to be making because he simply can't use the abilities he needs often enough. That cooldown reduction is a massive amount. Braum, loving it. Braum with health and cooldown reduction, not to mention extra attack and lifesteal for his AD carry, and extra attack and lifesteal for himself. Don't forget, you still punch the guy. That's a big deal. When you get right down to it, the people who do the math have worked out that Zekes Herald, affecting all 5 champions on a team, is the most gold efficient item in the game, with a theoretical value of 7,104 gold. That is 279% of its purchase price. 279%. We also see the logical fallacy in exactly the same page. This is League of Legends Wiki gold efficiency page that says Aegis of the Legion, affecting all 5 champions, is the most gold efficient item that all champions can be said to make at least some use of, with a theoretical price of 4,728, 242% of its purchase price. All champions auto-attack. Every single champion uses AD to auto-attack. Some champions don't auto-attack as much, but Zekes Herald is beneficial for your entire team even if no abilities are used. Every AD ability added to the mix adds to its efficiency. Every AP ability reduces its efficiency subsequently. It's a reality that I accept, but it's not a reality large enough to say that champions make no use of lifesteal or AD. They might not want to build it themselves, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to enjoy it if you give it to them. I'ma settle down. I feel like I gotta settle down. But Zekes Herald is an amazing item. Braum is an amazing champion to have been released because he can actually bring it into the game. Many champions overlook Zekes completely. They just look at it and go, I don't need that because it's not going to be benefiting me that much. And if you're playing Nami, I can kinda see your point. Nami doesn't want a Zekes Herald, but if you're building Leona without a Zekes, I'ma pimp slap you. I'ma do it. I will come round to your house and smack you in the face because she's a tanky person with abilities that really benefit her health. Her ability to survive is important, but her ability to deal damage isn't. However, her ability to give damage to her allies is! Gangplank, Leona, Tarek, Braum, there are others. Find them. But if you're playing any of those champions, buy yourself a Zekes. Get it second after you get your Ahrtgames brace. You will make a significant difference in the life of others around you, and hopefully you'll thank me for it. And even if you don't really think that Zekes is good, I recommend you give it a try. The effect is actually noticeable. It's a little bit subtle, but if you watch, you can see the difference in games with it to games without. Buy yourself a Zekes. I cannot say it enough. I'm gonna go before you get bored of hearing that phrase. Thank you all for watching, and good night.
I didn't want to.
What's he on?
Tag on surprise.
Targon's Brace, man. It builds from Relic Shield.
Brace.
Why don't you have... Oh, you do have one.
I do have it. What are you talking about? That gives you a shield on its max farm.
Awesome.
Oh, an activatable shield.
Bought it.
And then whenever you attack a minion, we get gold and health back.
Good.
Oh, whenever you kill a minion, it gives like, when a minion's low, you insta-kill it, kind of thing.
Beat him down!
Nice, one of their teammates have a Zekes.
Good to see. I haven't died in ages. I'm 1 in 14. Or 1-3 in 14.
1-5.
I mean, yeah, there's people doing better than me, but I'm happy. I need mana, I'll be back. What's going on in here?
Oh yeah. Adam.
Hello. What's up, man?
Come back, where
just
is
playing around
running?
on the internet. Yourself?
This is the worst.
Space streaming.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I will actually. I'll just finish up this and then I'll be around. Yeah.
Look at the kill code. It's funny.
Yeah.
Run, Will. No, he's putting like attack damage and attack speed.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be around in like 40 minutes or so.
I'm getting heal speaking, I think.
Buying a locket next.
I'm sure they are. It's because I'm so much fun. Yeah, I have some ideas. So yeah, bye.
I'm gonna wrap this hard drive.
Sorry about that.
Run.
I didn't die. That ignite, too strong.
Yeah, dive.
Yeah, I don't think the tower really has a say in this
Doesn't do
meta.
anything anymore.
What is this tower? It tickles.
Two people blocking while The 3 people blocking while 2 beat down the tower.
Shield myself, it didn't work.
I guess that's time for me to bail.
That dude is mad, man.
Yeah, what's he doing down there?
He's like, he gives no fucks. He's gonna get one.
Wow.
Look at the Zekes.
Well,
look at all the ores at the moment.
You are our aura captain. Stop that man. Beat him down.
Beat that next one down.
Next one. Someone get the slow. We're just like a bunch of clowns. We just leap to each other. It's leapfrog the game.
Go in, done. Done.
This is so awesome.
Five, 3, and 25. Never again.
We completely outbuilt them.
We did.
It's just shields all over the ground.
That's so good.
It was glorious.
That's going on the internet.